How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So now that Star Wars Battlefront 2 support has come to an end, in this video I want to go over everything that DICE sort of left behind with this game. I want to talk about all the content that was either leaked or teased, bug fixes, skins, maps, blasters, just things that they could have done with this game. This game had a long future ahead of it. There's a lot of content that could have kept this game going. And these are just things that we'll just never get now. Things that would have made the game a lot better. Things that would have improved the experience for everybody. They could have kept this game going until the next Star Wars game, or for at least another year or so longer. There's plenty of ideas that they could have done with this game. So to start off that list, this one's pretty obvious, and it's that there's nothing to spend your credits on. If you are a veteran player of this game, then odds are you have most of the things that you want already unlocked. And if you are a Celebration Edition owner of the game, then everything was already unlocked, thus leading to everybody just earning credits and earning more credits and earning even more credits. They just gathered for no reason, and they never even addressed this. Anytime anyone asked about the credits, the devs would just ignore them. They mentioned a few times that they wanted to switch to the milestone method, which just didn't make any sense. In the final update of the game, they gave us a bunch of skins for free, which also didn't make any sense. The Kylo skin with his hood was free. The Rey skin with the yellow lightsaber was a legendary skin, and it was free. The Palpatine skin was free. And the Darth Maul skin was locked behind a 5,000 kill grind wall, which a lot of people are upset about. And if they're going to give us these skins for free, why not make them tied behind credits? It just didn't make any sense. So now at the end of the game, you have all these players with all this currency, which there's just no reason for them. It doesn't matter if your team gets first or second, because the winning team gets 100 more credits, but it just doesn't matter. There's a million more skins they could have added to the game. There's been tons of requests from the community. I've made multiple videos going over all the skins we could have gotten. Battle Damaged Vader is an example of a legendary skin. The other version of Darth Maul, which was very, very requested. Boba Fett could have had some battle damaged armor. Phasma could have had battle damaged armor. There's still a lot of more skins they could have given to the Rebels or to the Empire. I mean, there's so many possibilities of things that they could have kept doing if they kept it up to support with this game. If this game went for another year, I mean, they have endless skins that they could have brought to us. So I think that's a pretty big letdown, how they just gave us all this currency and then didn't give us enough to spend that currency on. And if you are a Celebration Edition owner and you got this game back when the Celebration Edition came out, there hasn't been a single thing that you could spend credits on. So all the Celebration Edition owners have been playing this game for months, gathering this currency for absolutely no reason at all. And then next up, I want to go over the fact that there's no loadouts. Now, this was actually leaked a while back, and Ben even mentioned it a few times. This was talked about in the community. I even covered this in one of my videos on the channel. It looked like it was pretty close to complete. It was even data mined in the game files, and was even turned into a mod on PC where you could go through and edit your star card loadouts. This would have made a huge difference in the game. This would have been a great quality of life change. It is such a pain in the butt to switch from Heroes vs. Villains or Hero Showdown back to Galactic Assault or Supremacy. Because I know I personally like to have different star cards when I play Heroes vs. Villains than if I play Galactic Assault. And some people like to have different loadouts for different maps. And Supremacy plays a bit different than Galactic Assault. So it would be really nice to have an anti-vehicle loadout for my heavy, or an anti-hero loadout. If I'm playing Heroes vs. Villains, I will go with star cards that make more sense for that mode. And I don't know why this didn't get finished. I think, honestly, the game was cut short because of the coronavirus and because of EA having other plans with their future games. So I honestly think that this was just completely cut, because back in January of 2020, we knew about these loadout leaks. So it's a huge shame that this did not come to the game, and it's sad that the loadouts got left behind. And then up next, I want to talk about the blasters. So we finally got some blasters after 2.5 years added to Star Wars Battlefront 2. It was in one of the final updates brought to this game. And it was a nice breath of fresh air. It was really fun. It made the combat, a lot more enjoyable. I personally use a lot of the new blasters because I just got so tired of all the old ones. Very rarely do I switch to a different blaster because I just am in love with all the new blasters. And there is just endless possibilities they could have done with the blasters for the infantry. All the default blasters are still locked behind eras, and they all have the same exact stats. If they would have just taken those pre-existing models and just tweaked the stats a little bit, that could have given every single class like 4 or 5 new blasters, and they could have been interchanged between the classes. Plus, there's still a lot of blasters that aren't even in the game at all, like the bow rifle, for example, or the DL-44 that Han uses. They could have, that's another blaster they could have given to the infantry. So there's just endless possibilities that they could have brought to the game with blasters. They could have had just a whole nother year's worth of content just in blasters alone. And the fact that we only got 4 blasters after 2.5 years, really kind of pathetic if you think about it. Hell, if you even compare it to Battlefield, I think the latest Battlefield has gotten more blasters in DLC than all the total blasters that Battlefront has. So it's just a real shame we just didn't get as many blasters as what we probably should have. And then up next, I want to talk about no private matches. With this game coming to an end, private matches would have been a great addition to the game as a final goodbye. A lot of people have been requesting private matches since the game's release, so that's 2.5 years of people requesting private matches. And I mean, that would have been a great way to continue playing the game afterwards. You could start up lobbies with your friends. You could explore maps on your own or with your friends. This game could continue to live on through the community by doing community tournaments. I know that's a big thing. You could set up 1v1 tournaments. There's like endless possibilities of what you could do with private matches, and private matches will just never see the light of day in Battlefront 2. I don't know why DICE never decided to add it, especially since it was in Battlefront 2015. Unfortunately, that's just another example of something that will be left behind, and something that we will never see added to Battlefront 2. And then the next 2 things I want to talk about are actually glitch related. If they would have continued support, there are still tons of bugs that exist in this game that could have potentially been fixed. That's one of the things that kept a lot of the community going, was all the frustrations of Battlefront 2. We always had hope. Like, we always knew that there was going to be another update, and we had hope that in that update, maybe then they'll fix the glitch, or maybe the next update they'll fix hit detection. Maybe the next update they'll fix the Grievous glitch. Well, after 2.5 years, and after this game has ended its support, there is still a game-breaking bug where you can find a lobby that just will not start. It puts everyone in the lobby on one team, and it just will not start the match. This has been a problem for well over 2 years. DICE has never fixed it. They said in the patch notes 2 updates ago that they did fix it, but they just, if anything, they made it worse. And the fact that they didn't address this in the final update of the game is really sad. You would think that that would have been top priority, because it's really bad on certain maps compared to others. I know anytime I search for Naboo, it almost always happens on Naboo. Sometimes it happens on Capital Supremacy, and it also happens in Heroes vs. Villains. And it's so frustrating when you see that your favorite map is coming up, and then you load into the map, and then it's just bugged out and everybody's on the same team, and the match just refuses to start. And then the second bug I want to talk about is the aim drift for the Xbox. This has never been addressed. It still happens on PlayStation as well, but it's definitely way worse on Xbox. This is a bug that DICE was aware about over a year ago, and they came out and said that they were looking into fixing it, but they just never did. Now, if you don't know what the aim drift bug is, it's basically like having stick drift on your controller. You'll go to zoom in on an opponent and your character's camera will just jerk in the opposite direction for no reason. I'm pretty sure this is a bug that has to do with the aim assist. The aim assist on Xbox and PlayStation tries to help controller users by giving a little bit of autofocus onto the opponent, and I think when that happens, it sort of flings your camera because it just glitches out. And it's a real shame that they never fixed this, because this is definitely one of the most annoying bugs in the game, and it's a huge shame that this gets left behind and has no potential of ever getting fixed. And then the final thing I want to talk about is maps. There are still a number of different maps that they could have added to Star Wars Battlefront 2. There's even quite a few maps that are already in the game, in the campaign, which they could have just ported over to multiplayer, which they never got around to. The campaign has Solust, Pilio, Vardos, and Bespin. All those would have made really great maps. They could have ported over some more maps from Battlefront 2015. There's still a lot of new planets they could have added, like Coruscant, Mustafar, Utapau. There's basically endless possibilities with Star Wars battles that have taken place. Not to mention that after the game's launch, Starfighter Assault never once got support from DICE, and I think it would have been absolutely crazy if they added a Coruscant map like in Episode 3 and it was just an all-out battle in Starfighter Assault. I think that would have been really, really cool, and there's just so much potential that this game had with tons of different content ideas, tons of bug fixes, tons of improvements, tons of stuff that will never see the light of day, and all we can do at this point is hope that they have a Battlefront 3 and they take everything that we didn't get in Battlefront 2, and that stuff is up front and center in Battlefront 3. Not to mention that there are still plenty of heroes that the community wants, such as Ahsoka and Ventress, Mace Windu, Jango Fett, Padme. There's still endless amounts of heroes that could be brought to this game as well. So it really is a shame that this game is coming to an end. This obviously is not DICE's fault. I think DICE really enjoyed working on Star Wars Battlefront 2, but obviously EA has other plans for the franchise. And all we can do at this point is wait and see where things go from here. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to check out another video, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Be sure to join the Discord and follow me on Twitch at Swanee Plays Games Live. And be sure to check out my second channel called Swanee Rants, where I'm going to rant about different topics and stuff. So be sure to check that out, and I will talk to you all in the next video.
Will you join me? Accept your fate. I grew impatient.